Not only does this new Passport look better than the new 4Runner, but it might just be a better car. We'll find out with today's comparison. Honda and Murray is providing us with the Passport. The Toyota and Murray is providing us with the 4Runner. Link to both their websites in the description down below. Let's get right into it. This week's giveaway highlight is a classic Corvette with a big block V8. If you're interested, use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. This will give you 4x bonus entries on any donation $25 or more. The Honda is powered by a 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. The 4Runner is powered by a hybrid turbo 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 23 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. You can also get this with a non-hybrid version of this powertrain that produces 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy on that's 19 around town, 25 on the highway. Again, look at this. Nice struts. Easy close. And then we got this. Okay, where does it even go? Nope. There we go. Garbage. Now, if you don't want to be a garbage hood prop on a $60,000 vehicle, please subscribe. The 4Runner has always been the angular one with the design in the Toyota lineup, and I like it. I think the headlights look super sharp. This also has fog lights and a ginormous air dam. Honda has gone retro with this Passport. Super boxy. I mean, you've got rectangular for the headlights. It does have fog lights. And look at that, even recovery points. Both of these have 18-inch wheels. The Toyota is 265 by 70 by 18. The Honda is 275 by 60 by 18. So yeah, smaller tires on the Honda. But these, they can actually grip stuff, right? Nice fender flares too. Anyways, this 4Runner has side steps. The Honda doesn't have anything like that. The Honda is unibody, independent suspension, front and rear. The 4Runner is body on frame, solid rear axle, independent front suspension. Now the seats fold down flat in the Honda and you have a massive cargo space. The load floor is at a nice place. And again, lots of vertical space with that box design. There's also an outlet in the back. It's just 150 watt. Not only do the seats not fold down flat in the 4Runner, but the hybrid battery pushes up the load floor so you lose vertical space. And it's just not as deep as the Honda. It seems like the packaging in the 4Runner, again, being body and frame, puts massive limitations. But it does have a 2400 watt inverter. Now the back of the Honda, really cool looking with that box design. I mean, look at the taillights. They're basically just little cubes there on the back. The 4Runner, I think it looks great. And then something to note, you still have the glass that can roll down. You just press this little button. The Honda doesn't have anything like that at this point, but maybe they'll add something in the future. So legroom here in the back is pretty good. Got a little storage pocket there. Some vents in the rear. We also have another 2400 watt inverter. And these seats are comfortable. Like the little trim on them. Same thing with the trim on the door panel. Headroom, it's actually pretty good back here. Now knee positioning in the Honda is better because of the seat floor ratio, whatever you want to call it. Storage pocket, 150 watt inverter, got some USB ports. And you know, these seats really cool with the style. Nice trim in the door panel. And yeah, you've got good headroom. This just feels more spacious and open in the Honda. Nice trim in the door panel with the 4Runner. You got memory seats, acoustic glass up front with this particular one. Blind spot monitoring, and then look at these seats. Perforated down the center, lumbar support, power adjustments too. Really cool style on the Honda door panel. It's got memory seats, the mirrors power fold in, blind spot monitoring. Now this one does not have acoustic glass, but if you get the Elite, I think it does, if I remember right. Anyways, the front seats, Trailsport on it. Got nice trim, power adjustments with lumbar support. Let's take a quick peek at the 4Runner interior. We've got digital gauge clusters customizable. They have a very rugged feeling and looking steering wheel with adaptive cruise control and lane centering. This does come with a 360 camera system in this loaded up one. And then, yeah, big infotainment system. It's pretty quick to respond. Has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, it's got everything you'd want feature-wise. Just single zone climate with this automatic climate, heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel. TRD shifter in this. This has a part-time four-wheel drive system. Again, this is like a truck. So you've got MTS too for off-roading crawl control and a rear diff lock. Very old school truck stuff. Some cup holders, got center console. I do like that trim there. And we do have the sunroof. And again, just the overall feel, it's a little bit more crammed. Now in the Honda. Look at that, digital gauge cluster. Not as customizable as we have in the Toyota, but it's still a pretty good unit. And the steering wheel's got lots of orange on it. You still have adaptive cruise control, lane centering, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, by the way, with the infotainment system. Just a backup camera on this one. Again, the Elite has more features. They just don't have an Elite on the lot right now. Yeah, quick to respond. Look at that, Tri-Zone Climate. Lower package than what that 4Runner is, and you have Tri-Zone Climate. Heated seats, too. Phone charging pads, some USB ports. It's not as cool as a 4Runner shifter, I will say that. You got off-road drive modes. So again, all-wheel drive versus the 4Runner's traditional part-time four-wheel drive. So all-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive. Interesting. But anyways, big storage. Got nice trim there. Panoramic center and just, yeah, it feels big in here. So that 4Runner is about 63 grand. This Honda's about $51,000. Let's see how they perform. Let us start off in the Honda first, and then we will drive the Land Cruiser second. Now I will say, the orange lights that the Honda has, and this is an orange car, so it's like double orange. But yeah, the orange lights that it has for the daytime running lights look really cool. Now obviously you don't see that from being the driver, but you know it's there, and so you're like, yeah, I look cool going down the road. Now this V6 is smooth with the 10-speed. You do got to ring it out a bit, but here's my kind of thing with engines, because I've tested out so many over the years. Smoothness. Here's our greater than side. So smoothness, greater than sign going that way. Power on the other side. If an engine is smooth and has less power, it's just better, because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going up to higher RPMs and ringing the engine out more, but it's smooth. It doesn't really get in the way, and that's what this feels like. The buttery smooth. Absolutely fantastic. The suspension's comfortable too. We'll turn down here. Yeah, comfortable suspension. I mean, this is a nice drive. And here's the deal: is just like, you know, the Ridgeline gets made fun of. It's not a real truck. It's a car. It's like, well, 95% of driving with a truck, right, is just daily driving. So you still get lots of truck capability, but then something's more comfortable, and that's kind of what the Passport does with an off-roader. 95% of the time you're going to be on pavement. 5% of the time you're going to be off-road. Now I'm a little bit more than that, because I love off-roading a little bit too much. It's getting suspicious how much I like off-roading. But if you're going to be going down most trails, dirt trails, steep inclines, Honda's got a great all-wheel drive system. Where this will obviously be limited is the super articulated stuff, but at that point it's like, okay, well, now you're serious about it. But for what most people will do, this is great. And these tires are pretty darn good. You know, people talk about clearances. That is a little bit of an issue, but like if you're on graded dirt roads and you're going up, you know, steep, sandy, you know, rocky, dirt-covered hills, as long as the rocks aren't too big, it's not that big of a deal. Again, I go down so many off-road trails, and most off-road trails are pretty darn... Oh, I gotta go this way, I forgot. Most off-road trails are pretty darn mild. So the Passport gives you car-like driving, because this is unibody and independent suspension, but it gives you the cool, rugged off-roader looks. So you really do get kind of the best of both worlds, where it can do some off-roading, but it's also great for daily driving. 4Runner back-to-back with the Honda Passport. So I do need to make a quick apology. I'm doing this back-to-back series, Passport versus Land Cruiser and then 4Runner. I had to rush it a little bit because I've got a car in service, so I'll have to probably come back to it another day and do like a more, not for the 26 model year, but maybe like 27 model year, come back for a more kind of in-depth setup. It just happens every so often. So logistics, man, it's the hardest part of my job, honestly. I think the Honda seats are a little bit more comfortable. This does have double pane windows up front, so it helps out a bit with the insulation, which is nice. And being a part-time four-wheel drive system, yeah, the turn-in is nice. Definitely feels truck-like, right? You definitely, it's body and frame with a solid axle in the back. So you kind of feel that. I mean, I really like that, those Honda seats. And, you know, I obviously only own body on frame vehicles, right? Because I off-road all the time. But I do see the downside of the spacing, right? You just don't have as much cabin space because, well, gotta pop that cab on top. Versus unibody, you can really use up a lot of the space down low and just create more space inside. So because there's less power loss with the 4Runner compared to like the Land Cruiser, the 4-cylinder in this is a little bit smoother because it can just put more of that power to the ground. The Honda V6 is still the smoothest with that 10-speed, but this ain't bad. But when you go over bumps and everything, you can feel the axle in the back moving, and it's not like uncomfortable, it's just, you notice it, right? Now I will say this actually handles pretty well. These Bilstein shocks and being in 2-wheel drive means that this can kind of have like a more razor sharp turning. So this is really, really more neck and neck with the Honda in terms of the handling. Yeah, it drives well. It certainly does. You know, the 4-cylinder doesn't sound too bad. So to conclude the 4Runner versus Passport comparison, Honda's obviously offering, well, they're kind of offering more money for less vehicle, kind of. If you're looking at purely on-road driving, 100%. Now, if you take into account off-roading, that's where the 4Runner is obviously going to win. It's got better clearance, you can fit bigger tires, it's body on frame, so it's going to be more durable, long-term off-road. It is a better off-road vehicle. No two ways about it. But how much off-roading are you doing, and how aggressive is the off-roading that you're doing? That's the real question. So for those of you that are just doing the, you know, graded dirt roads, the Honda can do that just fine. And then you get a more comfortable vehicle that's easier to get in and out of, right? This is higher up off the ground, so you got to kind of jump up into it a little bit. And you save yourself like $10,000 plus. It's a lot of money, especially in today's economy. So let me know if you go 4Runner or if you would go Honda, but I do think that it's obviously pros and cons of both, but I think that for most people, because they don't off-road, the Honda kind of makes a bit more sense. And it, you know, being unibody, it's just able to give you more space.